Well, good morning, everybody. This is dear Mama Sal on a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is 16 degrees in southern British Columbia, and that would make it 60, I believe, in American. So a little bit cooler this today, and I did hear that they're expecting it to cool down for a couple of days, which is just fine. And I understand for a lot of you, our idea of hot and yours are very different. I was busy talking to some of my clients who originate from India, and they were busy talking about how hot it was, and I said, no. We've known hot, all right? I mean, I've known hot in Africa, and for sure they've known hot in India. And I said, this is just spring. Early spring. And then they sort of look at me and smile and go, true, because we forget. We really do forget what that's like. Anyway, a couple of things. Number one, just being a sports person, I did want to acknowledge the NBA, even though I haven't been watching that closely, but I hear LeBron James and the team are doing really well. So for those of you who are following the basketball, yay, you're also in your finals. And of course, we're still in the hockey finals, and it's getting very exciting for those of us who follow the hockey. And for those of you who don't, never mind. We do tennis next. No, we don't really. Today is Wednesday. That makes it Hump Day. I don't think I've ever discussed this before, but it took me the longest time to know what Hump Day was. Now, I've got to explain something here. I don't know, I guess a lot of you do know, but I have English as a second language. It wasn't my first language because I was born in Holland, and I spoke Dutch as well as English. And so I had to sort of learn a bit of both, if you know what I mean. But I was born in Holland with British parents, so the problem that I had was that I could sort of mix between the two, and half the time I didn't know which one was English and which one wasn't, because I was young. And it didn't really matter. For those of you who've grown up in that sort of an environment where you've been, where as a child you spoke two languages equally, it does get a little bit difficult. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is because where I grew up, they never heard of Hump Day. And I arrive in North America, and this word comes up every now and then. I have no idea what it means, but it sure as heck does not sound polite. Now that just goes to show where my mind was, right? But I kept thinking, why did people keep talking about Hump Day? I mean, really, it's not something you talk about in public, is it? But apparently it was. And then eventually, and I have to tell you, it was within the last 10 years of my life, I guess I got brave enough, or whatever you can say, to actually ask somebody, could somebody please tell me what Hump Day is? And of course, everybody laughed at me like I was an idiot, which I always think is such a kind thing to do, right? You don't know what Hump Day is? No, that's why I'm asking. Well, then they went ahead and they explained it. And I'm going to explain it for any of my viewers who might not be living in North America and may not know this. And that is, it's the middle of the weekday. You're going over the hump towards the weekend. Well, that makes perfect sense now. Like everything else in life, everything's easy to do once you know how to do it, right? And this makes perfect sense now that I know what it means, but for the longest time I had no idea what it meant. I tell you. I kept thinking about how many North Americanisms I had to come to grips with, and that's why I'd like to give, absolutely full credit to all the viewers, and especially broadcast viewers, who come from different countries. I'm thinking, about Alice and Anamete and Jesper and all the other sort of Manon, all our viewers broadcast viewers, who appear to have better English than most of the North Americans. And, I really have to say that their English is incredible. It's impressive. That's all I can say, really. It's impressive. I'd love to be able to communicate that well in another language. Well, I'm never going to, so I can stop dreaming about that one, unless I seriously get down and do some hard work, and I'm allergic to that. Talking about allergies, thank you for those of you who genuinely were concerned about my health yesterday. I'm still pretty sure that what I've got going on is an allergy thing, because everybody else in the office was complaining of the same thing yesterday. So I was not alone. However, I did hear your concern, peeps, and I certainly will keep an eye on it, and will go back to the doctor if it continues to be troublesome for me. I think it's the streaming eyes and the clogged nose that sort of give it away half the time. You know what I mean? You can feel that things are not quite right. And half the time I think the streaming eyes are because of my makeup errors, but I'm beginning to think maybe the streaming eyes are a little bit more to do with summer allergies now. Alright, so I'm about to go back on the highway here, so for those of you who get concerned about how fast I drive, it's going to look even faster. It's really cute that somebody actually wrote to me about it. And to let you know, I am doing the speed limit, but I'm sure it looks a lot faster than that. I'm going to go on the highway and get straight off it again, because this way I miss the construction that's going on. It's a very nice little trick. I wish I'd thought of it way before, but I didn't. Now then. The thing I wanted to discuss today was how to be gentle with yourself. In terms of setting your goals, I think one of the most difficult things to do is to not judge yourself by others, but judge yourself by your own improvement. So you and I both know that we can set a goal, to lose weight or to do exercise, or for those of us who are YouTubers, increase subscribers or increase views or do whatever. We can all set these goals, and it's very easy when we do that to compare ourselves with people that we respect and admire. Now, for a lot of you, you know that I am family with Benji and Judy. And I say family because we are not blood family, but we have been family for at least 10 years now. Anyway, so you can imagine it would be pretty easy for me to compare myself to Benji and Judy and throw up and never be a YouTuber again. But you understand, that would be the cruelest thing in the world that I can do. So when I look at what Benji and Judy are doing, I have to remind myself I am not in their league. Not in, and nor will I probably ever be anywhere near in their league. And that's okay. Right? So that's the first thing I have to tell myself. Now, it's not that I can't continue to look at them and admire them and do whatever I can to improve what I'm doing, but it would be totally unfair for me to judge myself against somebody who's got multi-millions of viewers and subscribers. So it's getting scary to watch them grow at the moment. Scary for me anyway, because you're going, wow, the rate at which they are growing is so big. Good on them. I'm so proud of them. Really. But you know, I have to rein it right back and go, hey, you're not in that league. You're in the beginner's league. And I say the beginner's league, and this is getting close to now to 400,000 views. I'm in the beginner's league. Not the absolute beginner's league, I admit, because I've got a couple of years experience, but I'm still in the beginner's league. So my job, and I don't know if any of you can understand this, my job is to keep improving on myself. For example, I actually get interested in what I'm doing from a statistical point of view on a daily basis. I know that some people go, gosh, what a waste of time. And for me, it's the way I start my day. I have a calendar, you know, one of those month on a page type calendars that the local real estate person gave to me, I think. And on there, every day, I divide the square of the day up into many boxes. The first box, I put in the views, total views to date, and then I put in the total subscribers to date, and then I put in the revenue in the last 28 days, if any. No, I do. I put in the revenue for the last 28 days. And then I put in my Facebook likes and my Facebook and Twitter, and then Instagram and Pinterest. I do it every day. Actually, I lie. I don't do it every day. I do it 4 days out of 7. The days I work, I do it. And then, as some of you know, I keep absolutely insanely complicated. Well, actually, they're not. They're very good. But I keep graphs and all the statistics and everything. And it excites me. So the reason I'm talking about this is I am intimately involved in my goal every day. Right? It's not by chance that we've reached nearly 400,000 views. And that's particularly stunning when you think that this time last year we were pushing to get to 250,000 after 2 years. So now we're pushing for 400,000 in 3. Wow, that's quite a jump, isn't it? And yet, even so, I'm still a beginner. You know, even so, you know, YouTube does not pay for the gas in my car. Yet. And so it pays for some. But you know, you look at it and you go, how much? I keep thinking of that comment that Benji made to me one day. Sal, just think about it. If you weren't doing it, what would you be doing? What would I be doing? Would I be able to help as many people as I do? And the answer is probably not. So I am so grateful, and I will be grateful for the rest of my life for the ability to be able to help so many people and answer people's questions and hopefully give them some better ideas. And the other thing was that I am equally grateful for those that look after my needs at times like this. And it is very, very exciting. So to go back on this whole thing, the reason I want to discuss about this is I don't know what your goals are. But do you sort of keep an eye on them on an almost daily basis? How are you doing on your goals? We're sort of, if you like, in the hump month of the year. And I'm pretty certain some of you made some goals for yourselves at the beginning of the year. And I wondered whether it was time to check in. Did you just quit on them? Or, were you thinking of picking up on them again? Because you've still got half a year. And remember what we said the other day, you can start again every day if you want to. So I was thinking that maybe hump day isn't such a strange word after all. And it's a good thing to remember. Some of us have had hump year. When I say hump year, we've reached that time in our life where it's all downhill from now. And it's not towards the weekend. Some of you know what I mean. And some of you are still struggling to make your way to adulthood, and then, hoping that you're going to get to the top of your mountain, only to find out that once you do, the slippery slope on the other side is very fast. It's amazing how long it takes you to get to hump year, and then how quickly you descend from it. And I'm certain there are viewers that will agree with me on that one. So, it's a word. And it's a word that I misunderstood for so much of my life. Why? Because I didn't have the guts to ask anybody what it really meant. I was embarrassed to ask anybody because of I was pretty sure I was going to be embarrassed if I did. And guess what? I was. But not in the way I thought. I was embarrassed because people made me feel stupid. No, they say that nobody can make you feel stupid. I felt stupid on the way that people reacted to my lack of knowledge on their North American word. Think about that. And so that's my thought for the day in terms of how do we grow. Try not to make people feel stupid today because they don't know something that you do. Rather, feel privileged that you did get to learn and help somebody else learn without embarrassing them. This is dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.